Okay, in this first video, I'm going to show you how to set up everything so that we can perform today's experiment on work and energy. Hopefully you've reviewed the information above that talks a little bit more about work and energy. So our goal is going to be to measure the amount of work done by the little wind-up engine in our car as a result of the kinetic energy that it produces, which is the energy of motion. So the first thing we're going to need to do is get the proper equipment out of our lab kit. So you're going to need at least 4 items from the kit, and you may want to use the box, or we can use another item, which I'll explain in a second. So the first thing we're going to need is the car. Now there's 2 cars in your kit. One is a pull car, which means when I pull it back, it'll roll. You can tell the difference. Usually the pull car will be a little bit heavier, but you can always test it by setting it on a table, pulling it back a little bit and letting it go, and if it moves, then that's the car we're looking for. We're also going to need our Pocket Lab sensor. Make sure your Pocket Lab sensor is charged before you do this experiment. You can just plug it into a USB port through the cable, and that will make sure that it's charged up and ready to go. You're going to need a ruler that's included in your kit. You're going to need some tape. We've included some masking tape in the kit. If you have your own, you can of course use that. And then you're going to need some kind of a vertical surface so that our sensor has something to bounce its signal off of. This could be a book, it could be a board. In my case, I'm just using the box that the thing was shipped in, that all of these items were shipped in, and you just can set it up like that. It just needs to be tall enough so that after you put your sensor on here, that there's still plenty of height on the box for the sensor to see. You're also going to need to be on some sort of a table that's long enough to let your car roll some distance. You're going to need probably at least 3 feet to make sure your car doesn't run into anything. This can be done on the floor, it can be done on your kitchen table, whatever's the most convenient. You just need a good flat, hard surface so that your car won't run into anything or have any kind of interaction like carpet or anything like that. So to do our setup, it's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to take a little bit of our tape and I'm going to wind it up so that I can stick it on the bottom of the sensor. I'm going to want to make sure that I leave the power button on the top so that when I connect the sensor, I have access to that button. It doesn't want to be on the bottom. You then are just going to take a little bit of the tape and you're going to stick it on there, and then you're going to stick it on your car, and you're going to stick it on a way that may not seem obvious right away, but I actually want it facing backwards. And I know it's facing backwards when this orange surface with the little hole, that's where the sensor is facing toward the board, and the car is actually facing forward. So we're going to put it on there backwards. I'm just going to stick it on top. And when I'm done, I want to make sure that this sensor is as vertical as possible. If it tilts backwards, you're going to want to add maybe a little tape underneath, just build it up a little bit. Or if it's facing the other way, then you just need to push it around. But you can see that I have the sensor set up very vertical. I'm then going to want to take my ruler, and I'm going to want to make sure that the 0 end is pointed away from the box, and I'm just going to set the ruler such that it's against the box. So that when I do my measures for my pullback, remember I'm going to put my car like this, and I'm going to push backwards and let it go. So that's everything for the setup. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to record the data and make sure that everything's going, and then how you'll do the rest of the experiment.